all day. Boom, boom.
Hey, pipe down, Stuffikowski.
Say, it's nearly sundown. You said we was to meet this friend of yours around noon.
I suppose you're going to start yapping now about us getting lost.
Well, we may have miscalculated on the time, but we certainly know our directions.
Sure. Crash and I were both here when they surveyed this country. And Jim Matthews was along, too, you remember?
That's right. That was before they made him United States Marshal.
If you think you're going to haul me around on this wild goose chase just for a surveyor's reunion, you can count me out.
Oh, now, hey, pipe down, will you? When Jim Matthews telegraphs, it's something important, and I reckon it's mighty urgent.
Yeah. I figure he's starting out on some new job, and he needs help, and he needs it bad. Say, that's sure enough Rocky Point over there. That's where Jim said we'd find him.
And that looks like it might be his horse.
Well, Jim ought to be somewhere around.
Yeah.
Jim! Jim!
Hey, look.
Poor Jim. Looks like we got here a little late.
Now, this looks like something. Well, here's some instructions telling him to go to Pinto Basin and get to the bottom of a mess of robberies.
Hey, look here, what's this? These outrages are cutting the community off from the outside financial world. It seems impossible to get money either in or out. And as a
Consequence.
an irrigation project is being seriously endangered.
Unless you are able to round up these bandits, work on the dam will have to be suspended, and scores of settlers in the Pinto Basin area will be forced to abandon their farms.
Have they any notion who these outlaws are?
Not that we've been able to find out, except that they're a bunch of bandits that have stopped short of nothing.
Yeah, it says here they're cutthroats.
You know, they must have figured that Jim was on his way to Pinto Basin, and they came up here to waylay him.
You boys are getting the notion to go to Pinto Basin?
Just as soon as we can take care of things here.
Seems to me like you're inviting a lot of trouble.
Hey, listen to this. Included in the loot was $2,000 in greenbacks in $10 and $20 denominations. We have information that the serial numbers were between 56,500 and 58,000 inclusive.
Boys, you'd better pull in your belts. We got work to do.
Fact is, I don't know what I could do with your 40 acres if I had it, except pay taxes.
But it's good ground, Mr. Harvey, if you get water on it.
Well, that's a mighty big if.
Oh, they're going to get the dam finished sometime. Got to happen sooner or later. Only thing is, I'm clean busted. If I'd had half a crop this year, I'd have been able to hang on. But I didn't.
Yeah, I know. Things have been tough.
Someday they're going to establish law and order around here, like they did in Missouri and Kansas. And you're going to be able to get water on them 40 acres, and they're going to be worth plenty.
Trouble is, Jeff, all this outlawry's been hitting me, too. First thing you know, I'll run out of money, and then I'll be in the same fix as you.
Well, I don't want it to seem like I'm asking for charity, Mr. Harvey, but it's my wife and young'uns. Why, they're actually hungry. I've just got to find a grub stake somewhere to move them on out of here. I was thinking if I could just get enough for the land to take me as far as Colorado. I hear they're going to need hands out there during the sheep shearing season.
Well, I never was able to see folks go hungry. $300 fix you up?
Well, I reckon that would help, but seems to me like an awful little amount for 40 acres of ground. Why, the outbuildings ought to be worth more than that. Tear them down and sell them for lumber.
Bring along the deed?
Yes, sir. All signed and ready.
Okay, Jeff. I hope you're running luck out in Colorado.
Much obliged. Me and my wife's going to need some. I didn't get much for it, but it's enough to scare the wolf away. We get to some place where there's law and a job. Come on.
How'd you make out, Chief? Fine. Pretty soon you'll own deeds to the whole basin.
Yep, unless a miracle happens and they finish building the dam.
Any chance of that?
What do you think? Why, it's got where nobody will honor checks on the Pinto Basin Bank anymore, and those firms in Denver must have cash on the line, or they won't send any more material.
That'll be 4 bits, boys. Yes, sir. Sack of makings.
Stranger in town?
Yep.
Staying long?
Maybe.
I'll know better when I see the sheriff. What do you want to see him about?
Well, the sheriff and my father used to be friends. They rode express together. So he wrote my father to come out and ride messenger on the stage.
Is he coming?
No, Dad got crippled up recently, so I came out to take his place.
Well, you're liable to run into a storm of lead.
The sheriff's letter said such storms were frequent.
Well, you'll find the sheriff's office right down the street there.
Much obliged.
Well, there's Pinto Basin,
Yep. And I've a notion we're going to find things as bad as that letter said.
which means we'd better drift into town casual-like and looking innocent.
Be better if we didn't all go in one herd.
That's right.
Well, the alibi there could go in first and sort of sift his carcass over to the chief dispensary of drinks. And you and I could mosey in later and maybe make a friendly call in the bank.
What are you going to do at the bank?
Well, we'll ask how to invest our money and such. And that way we'll establish ourselves as being important.
Well, how about me? I suppose I get established as a barfly.
Oh, yeah, and keep your eyes peeled for greenbacks.
Want you to meet Jerry Smith, Mr. Harvey.
Howdy. Howdy. Yeah, we've already bumped into one another. Says he's going to ride messenger on the stage.
Yeah? If he's anything like his father, he'll give them robbers something to think about.
Chip off the old block, eh?
I can't say about that.
Anyhow, I aim to find out. His father used to sing like a canary bird. If you'll lose that guitar mint, we'll find out how good he is.
Why, sure. Go right ahead.
Come on, Jerry. Boys, if you'll give me your attention just a minute, we have a real treat for you. Go ahead, Jerry.
Just me and my old cow pony are riding along. We're herding and driving the cattle. Just me and my old cow pony, we're happy as can be. A-riding to the rhythm of the saddle. A-riding to the rhythm of the saddle. Singing an old cowboy song. You can bet your boots will be where a man is always free, a-riding to the rhythm of the saddle. Hee, oh, 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 hee, oh, a-riding to the rhythm of the saddle. Singing an old cowboy song. You can bet your boots will be where a man is always free, a-riding to the rhythm of the saddle.
You'll do, son, you'll do.
Seems like folks around here sort of appreciate entertainment, Elmer. So it's up to you to get us in good.
The Coca-Cola kid. Yeah, sure. What'll it be?
Oh, Oh, I'll take something soft.
Like your head.
Listen, you fugitive from a woodpile. You're a miner, ain't you?
I never was in a hole in the ground in my life.
You keep yapping, son, and I'm gonna dig you one.
I don't like him. Well, do we get a drink or don't we? I'm no camel.
What are you doing, playing poker or watching a talking doll? Top a stack.
Well, that's enough for me, boys. I'm cashing in. I gotta meet Joe. All right, thanks.
Nice hole.
Yeah, fair. Maybe you'd like to try to take some of it away from me.
Well, you fellers playing for keeps?
Well, we don't make a habit of playing for our health.
Well, then maybe I better stay out.
Go ahead and take a chance.
You know, Elmer, I'm not very fancy at poker.
I'll show you how. Them greenbacks in that box would make a nice lining for our nest.
Well, are you playing or aren't you?
Well, I got a feeling I hadn't oughta, but I'll buy a couple stacks.
That hand's never known to lose.
That's what you think. Better luck next hand.
3 little ladies.
Not good enough. 7's full.
We'll never trust women again.
Well, you can't get very far with one chip. You better buy another stack.
Make it a couple. We're just starting to get hot.
Well, I'm nearly broke. Maybe you could trust me for a couple of stacks.
Oh, no. I never play against my own money. Unless maybe you could put up some worthwhile security.
Put me up. I'll make the supreme sacrifice.
I said worthwhile security.
Huh?
Now, I might consider that horse you got tied out there. He ought to be worth half a dozen stacks.
You think I'll do? What's the good of having a horse if you don't win some money to buy him oats?
Well, that's sound reasoning, Elmer. Okay, mister, it's a deal.
Looks like Alibi's parked himself inside the saloon, all right.
Yeah, let's have a look.
We better go in there and do something before he loses his shirt.
Hey, wait a minute. He seems to be doing all right. 6 stacks of chips. And did you see what that other fellow was betting?
Yeah, greenbacks.
Right. Alibi's a lot foxier than we thought. Come on, let's mosey over at the bank.
Some bankers are the biggest crooks in town. We got to be careful not to show our hands.
Right. If anybody starts asking too many questions, we'll just play dumb. Hey, Crash, that's a great idea. What? Playing both deaf and dumb.
Well, but how would we make ourselves understood?
Well, I don't mean the both of us. Now, I'll do the gabbing. And I'll make believe I'm explaining to you, but talking with my fingers.
Oh, is that so? So I'm a dummy, am I?
Certainly. Well, I mean, it'll give you a big edge. Folks getting the notion you can't hear anything, they'll talk right out in the open when you're around. Secrets or anything.
It might work. But I nominate you to play dummy.
Well, we won't argue. This'll settle it. Heads or tails?
Heads.
You lose.
Hey, wait a minute.
Good day.
Howdy.
Howdy.
We'd like to have a powwow with whoever runs this establishment. My partner here is taking a notion of these surroundings. Might want to settle down here. Maybe open up an account at your bank.
Better see the president then.
The president?
Yes, over there.
Oh, thank you.
That's all right. Walk right in.
Beg pardon, ma'am, but we were told this is where we'd find the president.
That's right. Won't you sit down?
Thank you, ma'am, thank you. My partner's deaf and dumb.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He was born without eardrums, the poor boy.
Such a fine-looking boy, too.
Yes, I'm glad you think so, ma'am. We dropped in to see you about opening up an account.
Well, I never insult two pair by betting less than $10.
Well, if I'm going that high, I might as well shoot the works. 1 stack to call and 3 to boost.
Well, maybe this is where you get back your pile. How many you drawing?
I'm satisfied just like I am.
Dealer takes 1. What do you got?
Just full in the deck. 3 aces on top. Read 'em and weep.
Yeah, wait a minute. Can't beat my luck. I drew the case ace to top off a royal flush. Too bad. Looks like you're out of horse. Unless you've got some more worthwhile security to win it back.
Say, speaking of worthwhile security, you ain't in the market for a couple more good horses, are you?
So you see how we stand with the banking association. Naturally, I'd like to handle your account, but my father founded this bank on principles of honesty. And it wouldn't be honest to accept deposits when we were on the verge of having to close our doors.
No, of course not. But it seems kind of ridiculous to me to let a bunch of outlaws get a community in a fix like this. How long's it been going on?
Almost from the day they started the dam. I suppose that's what attracted them. The necessity of sending out large amounts of money to cover the checks issued for supplies. And now it's become so bad, they're refusing to honor the checks.
Oh, he's wondering how far we'd have to send the money before it'd be safe from the robbers.
Oh, to the railroad at Cactus Junction. Now here. Here's Pinto Basin, and here's Cactus Junction, a distance of about 50 miles. Now, if we could get $10,000 that far and on the train, it'd be a safe haul to Denver. Then the supplies they need to finish the dam could be shipped.
Well, it seems to me they could get it through by sending a little at a time. The stage isn't robbed every day, is it?
Well, not every day, but almost always when there's money on it. That's what mystifies Mr. Summers and me. Somebody must be giving information to the robbers.
Well, who is this, Mr. Summers?
Cashier. He's been with the bank ever since my father started it.
Well, there ought to be some way to figure this out. Suppose I think about it and maybe come over and talk to you about it this evening, maybe.
That would be fine. Bring him along, too.
Huh? Oh, no, I'd better not. He gets self-conscious when he's around women folk. Where do you live?
Oh, Pepper Tree Lane. It's kind of hard to find. Maybe I'd better show you.
Okay, thanks.
You go down Main Street, and you come to a big oak here. And then you turn left, cross over a bridge, and continue past the 4th house. Then you turn right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you continue on down till you come to Pepper Tree Lane.
Look, you dummy. Somebody's making away with our horses.
Goodbye.
Hey, you.
Get off that horse.
Get away. You... my horses, will you?
Hey, what's the meaning of this?
Oh, this, yeah. Somebody must have made a mistake. Maybe them two hired men didn't hear about how I disposed of the horses.
Then it's about time for you to inform them.
Hey, Joe! Wait! Stop!
It goes for you other two fellows. I told Hank here to take those horses to the stable. I acquired them a few minutes ago from your boss.
My boss?
That's what I said. Right here.
Oh, him. What's this all about?
Now, don't fly off the handle, Crash. I had a great idea, but somehow it just didn't pan out.
Oh.
You admit it was a great idea.
Oh, great idea, my eye. I should have told him you had no legal title to our horses.
Oh, that bill of sale you gave him was an out-and-out fraud.
I should have let him send you to jail.
Keep still. You want everybody in this hotel to know our business?
Oh, shut up.
But listen, supposing I'd won some of them greenbacks, and supposing them greenbacks had had the right serial numbers.
Suppose that what? You win greenbacks? Why, you don't know the first principle of playing poker.
No, and I suppose you raised the roof off trying to fill an inside straight.
No, I didn't either. There wasn't anything the matter with my poker. It was just my luck, that's all. Now listen, supposing you held an ace full pack, not once but twice.
Oh.
And supposing somebody drawed one card and filled out a royal flush.
You mean to stand there and say that he filled out a royal flush not once but twice?
He did, so help me.
You're dumber than I thought.
And let the same card shark pull the same cold deck on you.
Not once but twice.
And in the same day, too.
Well, maybe it wasn't a cold deck.
He dealt, didn't he?
Yeah, I believe he did.
Both times?
Yeah.
And both times he only drew one card? Ah, thanks. Unknowingly, you've given me an idea. You know, I got a notion how to win those horses back. Want to go along?
Oh, much obliged. Made other arrangements for this evening.
Well, you're not going to go over and call on that girl after what's happened.
I promised, didn't I?
Okay, Casanova, it's your eyes she'll scratch out, not mine. You know, playing poker is much safer.
Openers?
I can't open. So,
I'll pass.
Suppose we speed up the game a little bit.
Well, that suits me. Tell you what I'll do. I'll bet my pile here against that bill of sale for those 3 horses. So you can count this if you like.
Sounds like a reasonable bet. A few dollars one way or another won't make much difference. How many you drawing?
I'll take 2 cards.
You sure?
Well, I may be crazy, but I'll still draw 2 cards.
discarding a pair?
Well, I'm just a fool notion that there might be a case ace on top.
Hey, you can't do that. Dealing the cards is my job.
Speeding the game up was your idea, not draw.
Don't get frisky with that gun. You're not playing this game according to Hoyle, you're playing it according to me. All right, Mr. Harvey. It's your time to start drawing cards.
All right, you win, provided you've got a pair.
Oh, I got 2 pair, and both of them aces. I had 3 of them to start with. And the one that would have filled out your royal flush. Outside of getting our horses back, doesn't look like we accomplished very much.
We did find out where some of the town's tough hombres are.
Just because a man's a card shark doesn't mean you can string him up for stage robbing.
I'd give up my boots and saddle, and I'd fight most any battle for that little prairie gal of mine. And my home up on the prairie, I would never be contrary with that little prairie gal of mine. The first time that I saw her, she won me from the start. I knew forever she'd be in my heart. Yahoo! Oh, I wouldn't give a hooter. I'd give up my old 6-shooter for that little prairie gal of mine. Da-da-dee-da-da-da-dee-dum, da-da-dee-da-da-da-da-dum.
Sounds pretty, doesn't it? What's the matter, Crash? Looks like Dusty got along better than you expected.
Oh, pipe down, will ya?
She told me that she loved me, I'm happy as can be. She promised that she soon would marry me. Oh, I'd climb the Rocky Mountain if I knew I could be counting on that little prairie gal of mine.
I suppose you're not interested in the fact that I got your horse back for you.
That's good.
Look, Casanova, we also got our hands on some greenbacks.
That's good.
Oh, quit putting on. You're just dying to know whether they had the right serial numbers on them or not.
They didn't.
How did you know they didn't?
Those serial numbers were all a mistake. After the report was made, they found out that particular batch of greenbacks is still in the bank.
How'd you know?
Joan?
Who?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So it's gotten to where you call her by her first name already, huh?
Yes, darling. She asked me to.
Say, how'd you manage to square us?
Who said anything about us? I had to make her believe that you had me humbugged too, until you got excited into talking this afternoon.
Oh, so that's it, huh? My pal.
Yes, your pal.
Get off my bed, Romeo. My pal. Good morning, ma'am. I beg your pardon, ma'am. I have a notion I've got some tall explaining to do.
Don't trouble yourself. I understand perfectly.
But I don't see how you could, unless you by chance have been talking to Mr. William Pinkerton.
The detective?
Yes, ma'am. You see, it's on account of him I've been playing deaf and dumb.
Ridiculous.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, no, ma'am. You see, when Mr. Pinkerton has us shadowing someone suspicious, whoever it is thinks we can't hear.
Are you trying to tell me you're a detective?
Yes, ma'am.
How do I know you're telling the truth?
Oh, you don't.
Then I presume the man you're shadowing must be Dusty.
Oh, no, I didn't say that. It wouldn't do for me to tell you. If he should find out that...
Oh, don't worry. I won't tell.
You won't?
No. Well, what's he suspected of?
Bigamy.
Well, thank you for telling me.
That's all
Thank
right.
you very much.
And now I might be able to give you an idea on how to start running down these stage robbers.
Throw that rifle on the ground. Now throw down that strong box. On your way. Hike! Get up! Get up! Well, I've got a key that will open this lock. What's the matter with Summers playing us a trick like this? Maybe it's a trap. Let's get out of here.
Hello.
Hello.
Any word from the state yet?
Well, there's scarcely been time. The first place they can send a message is at Halfway Station, between here and Cactus Junction.
Well, you'll hear from them all right, and if my figuring's correct, plenty's gonna start happening.
We'd better go in there.
Sit down, let me tell you about it. For the last half an hour, I've been planted over in the saloon. Not over 10 minutes ago, Harvey was introducing a stranger by the name of Ware. Then they drifted into Harvey's back office, and they haven't been out since.
I don't see anything wrong about that.
Well, maybe not, but not over a minute ago, the Norton tribe also drifted into Harvey's office.
Well?
Well, that's where my figuring comes in. The Norton tribe rode out of town this morning right after the stage left, and I figure that they held it up and are reporting to Harvey that the box was empty.
Well, of course, I don't pretend to be a detective, but that sounds to me like pretty wild guessing.
Well, maybe so, especially if the stage wasn't robbed. Well, anyhow, I'm going to plant myself and keep a sharp lookout through that window. You know, I have a notion that someone's going to come along pretty soon and have a powwow with your cashier.
It couldn't be Mr. Summers.
Well, it couldn't very well be anybody else. That is, if the stage was robbed. Mr. Summers, you and I are the only ones that knew that the strong box was on it.
But how about the messenger and the driver?
No, it couldn't be them. I told them that the box was empty, so naturally they wouldn't tip off any hold-up men.
Joe, something terrible has happened. The stage has been held up again. Maybe I'd better tell the sheriff.
Oh, just a minute. Now, you wait here and take care of the bank. I'll go for the sheriff.
Hear that whistling? That means woman trouble.
The way things are stacking up at the bank, looks like I'm gonna have to solve this case on my own. Hey, you see anything in my neckerchief alibi?
No, I said you put it away last night.
Say, how recently you seen Crash?
He ain't been back since he sneaked out on us this morning.
Well, you're only guessing. You can't be sure these three are the ones that found the dead marshal.
I wasn't waiting to get introduced. As soon as I got on top of the ridge, I looked back and saw those three nags. They answered awful close to the ones you described. Anyhow, I think they're the same. And finding the marshal is what brought those three hombres into town.
That strong box being empty wasn't any accident. Somebody had to think that up. Now, it doesn't sound like Miss Joan. We know it wasn't Summers. And the guard gave it up too easy.
What we ought to do then is to get a hold of Summers.
If a trap has been set, it might be the Summers is the bait. Maybe that's what they're waiting for, to find out who runs to him.
It looks like we could get tripped up.
I don't like it at all.
The thing for us to do is to turn the tables on these meddlers. I've got an idea. Come on, Ware. Let's take a walk.
What, Joan?
Please, Mr. King.
Huh?
If you don't mind, save that for your wife.
My wife?
Or perhaps your 2 or 3 wives.
But Joan! Hey, Joan, wait a minute. Hey, for the love of Pete, Joan, what kind of a joke is this anyway? What do you mean, my 2 or 3 wives? Hey, look, Don Juan, a joke's a joke, but you've carried this one too far. Now tell her it's a lie.
What's a lie?
Well, everything you've ever said since the day you were born. Now tell her.
Tell her what?
And take off my neckerchief. Oh, wait.
If you don't mind, Mr. King, Mr. Corrigan is here on important business.
Well, don't you let him fool you, ma'am. No business of his is ever important.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, that's so.
Hands up! There they are. Do they look like your men?
They sure do. You fellas gave me a merry chase all the way from Texas. But you're not going to get away this time.
If you don't mind, tell us what this is all about and who you are.
Just the bank detective who's been on your trail for the last 3 months. And as soon as I heard of the robbing up here, I recognized your brand.
Well, you're crazy if you think you can get away with this kind of a frame-up.
Frame-up?
Yeah, frame-up.
A smart fellow like you ought to think up something more original.
But, Sheriff, there must be some mistake. That's the Mr. Corrigan I was telling you about.
There's no mistake. I thought it sounded kind of fishy when you were telling me about him being a Pinkerton detective on the trail of a bigamist. And that deep and dumb play didn't sound cordon to Hoyle either.
But he couldn't have been responsible for holding up the stage this morning. He knew the box was empty.
Of course I couldn't.
Just a smart trick, trying to throw suspicion elsewhere to keep it off of himself.
Come on, let's get going. We still got to pick up his partner.
Now, if you come to the jail, ma'am, I can explain everything.
You both have done quite enough explaining already.
I knowed we was bound to land somewheres in a place like this sooner or later.
Mostly sooner if I hadn't have been good-natured about you frauding away our horses.
That couldn't be Crash, could it? He's supposed to be deaf and dumb.
Well, anyhow, plenty dumb. Trying to pass himself off as a detective.
Oh, so you can't take it, huh? You don't like nobody trumping your trick. Well, we wouldn't have been here if you hadn't have started this deaf and dumb business in the first place.
What can you expect from a bigamist? Count 10, Dusty, count 10.
Well, anyhow, we're all in the same boat.
Now, for your information, this ain't no boat.
What I'm worried about is when they come to trial, somebody will know I'm not a bank detective.
I figure when the settlers find out the robbers have been caught, there won't be any trial.
Sure, that's right. Maybe we ought to start riling them up.
the matter?
Jones sent in the $10,000 to Denver.
When?
This morning, on the stage. The idea that the right bandits are in jail, that's what makes her think it's safe.
Okay, you better get back now before you're missed.
Yes, yes.
What are we going to do now?
The only thing we can do. Stop that money from getting to Denver.
But how can we? As soon as that stage is robbed, they'll know those hombres in jail couldn't have done it.
That's right. Everybody will know it's a frame-up. It'll put the sheriff right on my neck.
Just the same, I'm not letting any $10,000 get into Denver.
But boss!
Wait a minute. I think I've got it. Those prisoners have to escape.
Escape?
Yep, and pronto. In time to rob the stage.
How?
You leave this to Ware and me. You get going with Joe and Lane, and leave by the back door.
Okay.
Gosh, I've always wondered, what did it feel like being on the inside looking out?
Well, why don't you look out?
Hey! Hey, they're loading the strongbox onto the stage, right out in the front where everybody can see it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Get up!
We gotta do something. We gotta get out of here.
Bright eye, Mr. Corrigan, a bright eye.
Oh, shut up. Hey, stop. Hey, you on that stage. Stop! Oh, it's too late. Oh. I'll bet there was every bit of 10,000 in that strong box.
Why don't you gamble on a sure thing? I'll bet that the three of us get life.
As soon as you're through, yell. I'll be in my office.
Won't take long. Just want to ask him a few questions. I came to tell you, boys, you'd make it a lot easier on yourself by coming clean.
Now, what's the idea of putting on your show for us?
Certainly. We know that the only connection you ever had with banks is maybe robbing them.
Well, now that we understand each other, let's sit down and have a chat.
Well, I don't expect it'll do us any good, so just go ahead and help yourself. This is the very best we have to offer.
Well, much obliged. I have a hunch we're going to get along.
I reckon we'll get along pretty good, providing you follow instructions.
But what do you want?
Well, just act like nothing's happened and call the sheriff.
Yeah, tell him you want him to listen to our confessions.
And don't blunder.
But listen, fellas,
Call him. Come on.
Come on.
All ready, Sheriff.
Coming.
The boys have decided to confess, Sheriff. So I thought you better come in and hear what they have to say.
Well, that's fine. Good work, Ware.
Stand where you are, Sheriff. Alibi, take those keys. Dusty, get his gun.
Hey, what is this?
Get in there, Sheriff.
Help! Somebody help! Hey, where are my deputies? Help! Somebody! Help! Help! Come here, somebody! Help!
Where are we heading now? The money in that strong box has got to get to Cactus Junction.
Help! Somebody help! Prisoners escaped! Help! Somebody help! Clem, get them keys. Let me out of here. Quick, will you? Get a posse together. We gotta overtake them bandits. And hurry, will you? Come on, boys. Escape bandits.
I'm riding a trail tonight, herding the doggies along. I'm riding the trail tonight, humming an old western song. Oh-de-lady, oh-de-oh-lady, oh-de-oh-lady.
Stage should make the bend in a few minutes.
Boys, looks like we're barking up the wrong tree. Let's double back.
We gotta take a shortcut if we expect to overtake it.
Sounds like we're ahead of it.
Yeah. You and Alibi circle back with the horses, and I'll make it from here on foot.
Right. Hold those horses. Much obliged. Now get going.
Get up!
Pull up! Don't down that strong box.
Ain't any strong box. It's already gone.
How do you mean gone?
The 3 robbers that were jailed last night, they must have escaped. Say, what is this? The sheriff claimed they were you.
Quit stalling. I want that box in pronto.
But we told you there isn't any. We were robbed already not more than 10 minutes ago. Look for yourself.
I ain't to. Well, here goes. Looks like you was telling the truth. Where was it these hombres held you up?
Why, right...
Never mind. There must be them busting the lock now.
Alibi, you go back down the road and keep your eyes wide open.
I get you. Robbers headed this way, 3 of them, masking everything.
They must have stopped the coach and found the box was gone.
And now they're looking for us.
Must be them outlaws.
Keep on riding now. By Dusty and I'll haul them back.
Stay on your own side, will you?
Come on, we gotta get out of here.
How could they change clothes after breaking jail?
Hey, wait a minute. What now, another hold-up? No, here's your money. Keep going. Thanks.
You will leave me to keep the cell warm, will you? I made it, Grace. Money's back on the stage.
Breaking jail, robbing stages. One of these days they'll be watching us to see which way the wind blows. How do you mean, Elmer? Swinging from a limb with a rope around her neck, ain't it about time we settled down, took things easy?
Summers just pleaded guilty. Also admitted that Harvey, the Norton tribe, and that phony detective Ware were mixed up in it. Guess there's nothing left for us to do now but saddle our horses. Well, as soon as I say goodbye to a few folks, we'll start moseying.
Where are we moseying to?
Oh, I'd like to see Arizona.
No, sirree. Me and Elmer decided on a more peaceful occupation.
You're not going to break up the range busters, are you?
Well, it's like this,
Say,
Craig.
did you by any chance see that light-colored neckerchief?
I ain't sure, but I got a notion Dusty also has some folks to tell goodbye.
Never be contrary with that little prairie gal of mine. The first time that I saw you, you won me from the start. I know forever you'll be in my heart. I would work in any weather if I knew I'd get together.
I came to say goodbye, Joan.
You're not leaving, are you?
Yes, ma'am. You see, too much peace and quiet doesn't agree with me. Besides, it'd be asking too much of you to put up with Dusty any longer.
Are you going to?
Well, it seems like every now and then, Joan, the Crash and Alibi and I have to exercise our horses, and sort of seems like they need a change of scenery.
Are you in such a hurry you can't finish your song?
Why, if I don't finish it now, I can come back maybe some other time and finish it later.
Then you are coming back.
Oh, sure.
The horses are ready.
Goodbye.
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 The horses.
Goodbye.
We'll be